Hello, guys. Hello, welcome to the Momentors talk show for leading women. And today I have a special guest on the show, Lucia Pavlikova. Welcome to the show, Lucia. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Almost correctly. Thank you very much, Mo. That is
Lo-
okay. It's okay. Oh, fine. Thank you very much for having me.
Lovely. And where are you tuning in from this afternoon?
Yeah, so right now I am in Germany, in Frankfurt am Main, and we are having beautiful weather here.
Wow, absolutely beautiful. So thank you very much for joining me on the talk show. So I will start by asking you to introduce yourself to the audience or to the viewers. So if you're watching, please do feel free to share the button with your friends, invite them to come and hear from Lucia, our guest today, who's going to be inspiring us, empowering us, helping us to change our mindsets. So please introduce yourself.
Thank you again. Thank you. So yeah, I am Lucia, and I live in Germany, but originally I come from a little country in Eastern Europe or Central Europe, Slovakia, and I am at the moment working with women, empowering women to lead a life they truly want. So I focus on their journey and where they feel at where they are at the moment, where they feel burnout, they feel overwhelmed, and anxious with what they have to deal at the moment, and bring them to that space when they have the clarity where their life is going, and also find that freedom and confidence which comes together with that.
Wow, wow, wow. And I know that we are going to be exploring a bit more about your work as a mindset coach and how you can help some of the women on the show who are watching, or either, if you're listening and you know somebody that may need Lucia's services, then, this is your time to tap in and listen out and see that, you will be able to share with friends, sisters, aunts. So tell me then, Lucia, do you work? I mean, what are the challenges that women face that are different to the ones that men face?
Well, of what I can see and I can say from the experience or from my own experience, what I've gone through, definitely we are more, intuitive, and we love to share the emotions. So we are really emotional beings. We are the one who can sense, some subtle things which men maybe they don't automatically. And also with that comes sometimes the struggles, how to deal with that energy we have. We have that strong feminine energy, and doesn't mean that we don't have masculine energy as well, but usually this energy prevail, and sometimes it's gives us a bit more struggle, because especially in our environment, working environment, where we need to show sometimes that we are also able to do things the same way that the men do, and that we also can have that some higher dreams than men do. So it's not only about giving or taking care of family, children, if they have, but it's also fulfilling a bit higher desire, like as well having something like career, and combined is everything with our energies. Sometimes it's overwhelming,
Yeah.
and it gives us a bit more maybe stress, a bit more anxiety, and that's what we deal with on everyday life.
Right. I like that. I like that. And I'm going to be going deeper into that and seeing how, what basically Lucia is saying, that, we are more expressive, we are more intuitive, we've got more intuition than the man. We're more expressive, and then that causes us to stress about things more. Is that what you're saying? Because, we then express ourselves. Okay. So being a mindset coach, then, how does that differ from the other types of coaching? So, I've heard of coaches, but obviously you're a mindset coach. So what is the difference between the two?
So basically, what I teach women is to recognize what are our conscious habits or conscious patterns and what are actually unconscious patterns. Because we run, and it's not only about women right now, I'm talking, it's just the same for the men, that we run 95% of our day unconsciously. Everything is kind of like programmed in our mind, and this creates the problems because we have these desires, we know that we want something more, we have that picture in our heads what our perfect life should look like, but behind that desire there is always that unconscious part. These are all these habits, these patterns, beliefs we hold about ourselves, and majority of the time are disempowering. So therefore, my main focus when working with women is uncover those beliefs, those patterns, which holds us back, which don't allow us to be in our full potential, to show to the world what we are capable of. Because every one of us has it inside. It's
Yeah.
just to untap that, unlock that potential within, and everything starts with that mindset to uncovering that hidden part of ourselves.
I like that. I like that. I'm just going to stop you right there. There's a lot of points that you've mentioned there, that subconscious. So we are on automation then, you're saying, because the subconscious mind is running us. So as a result, we are limiting ourselves in a lot of ways. We're not unlocked. Is that right?
That's correct. And
Oh,
it's not me saying only, there is also science behind that.
yes.
They all say that basically it's all about programming ourselves.
Funny enough, I was reading just the other day about how we can control our mind, but our mindset controls us.
Mm.
So your mindset controls you, but you are capable of controlling your mind. So, I was quite interested and intrigued to that knowledge and, kind of understanding how our mind works and, seeing that, a lot of people were walking around with untapped potential and
Yeah.
we haven't quite unlocked what we are possibly able to deliver.
Yeah.
So, just going back, and I know we were discussing earlier, we talked about where some of these things stem from. I know you mentioned, upbringing. So let's just go into that and talk about how where some of those things are stemming from, these self-limiting beliefs. Where do they really stem from?
Yeah, you're right. It's really about the way how we were raised or how we observed, the environment which we were raised. So it all comes back to our childhood between age, when we were born to age of around 7 years old, when we are in that state of mind when basically our brain develops. And in that moment children basically develop their brain and they observe, so they learn from observing and noticing everything what's happening around them. So if you are surrounded or not only surrounded, but you take something what you overheard, you notice something and you took it as your own belief,
Mhm.
in that age that someone else said about maybe someone else, and you created that image around that and emotions attached. So basically it's very possible that you were growing up with that belief, not even realizing that it's impacting your life,
Wow. Wow.
and when we talk about women, many times it comes down to that root that we believe that we are not enough in some way, that we still are not good enough, that we have those fears that we can be left alone or we can be abandoned, and there are many different things which could come up from them, that upbringing.
Wow, 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 wow. So if you're listening, thank you so much for joining the Momentous Talk Show for Leading Women. And today I'm speaking to Lucia, and she's a mindset coach, and she's talking to us about some of the things, some of the work that she's doing with women. She's currently based in Germany. She comes from Slovakia, and she is somebody who is well traveled. So she's talking about some of the mindsets. How we women, we have got some things that we limit ourselves, how we're walking around with untapped potential, and some of these things are stemming from the way that we were raised, the environments that we were raised, and as a result, those beliefs that we think we can't do much, we are not enough, we are not good enough, are limiting us from going to do more and to be more. So, that's what she's talking about to us about today. And I'm really encouraged and I'm really, really excited to talk to you, Lucia. So, because it's something that I find very, very, exciting, and also to know that, some of the things that we haven't tapped in, we are able to do anything, but I think we limit ourselves so much. So I'm on that journey of transforming. So I'm really, really excited to have you on the show. So just going into then, what encouraged you to start this work? What inspired you to start working with women?
Because I believe that there you are talking about an untapped potential. So I always somehow knew there is something more. I just didn't know because all those beliefs I hold about myself, and they were very deeply rooted. And I was working in the environment where I wanted, to prove everything what I didn't really believe about myself, but I wanted others to believe in me. And I came to the point then, I didn't feel satisfied anymore where I was. And I also, again, I didn't know what it was. So I came to the point in my life when I felt a bit lost. What's next for me? And I just had that feeling, that inner feeling that there needs to be something more. And I did some scary steps, which someone would say that, yeah, you have a lot of courage or you're very brave. That I decided to quit, my secure job I had before.
Wow.
And explore more about myself, to know exactly what it is that stops me to do what I would love to do, even though that time I was not sure what it was, to be honest. So going through that self-development and starting studying NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, that opened the door for me to all that potential and to understand much more about myself. And like on that journey, discovering myself, I realized actually this is something I can help others too with, that we all have that inside of us. We just maybe need sometimes like helping hand and to show the direction, which way to go, to give a bit more options, and then it goes. So.
I love that. I love that. And that's what part of the show is about. It's about telling and showing women that it is possible, to do it. When we speak to different women, they're coming here, sharing their stories, their journeys, and we're able to see that, what, we have so much of untapped potential. And when you see other women who've done it, you know that, you too can do it. You get inspired to do it. So, I really like that. You talked about, you felt in your journey, you felt that you were not having enough. So I can identify with that story that, you felt that there was more to life than what you were getting. So how does somebody get to that point where they feel that they need a mindset coach? What sort of things should they be looking for?
I think that for everyone it's different, depending on what life journey you are and what point you are. For me, I can say about me personally that when I really felt so much lost, I was burned out so much completely, like several times before. And I lost that sense of fulfillment. I was very demotivated, and I got to the point when even getting out of my bed was kind of like success at some days, because I didn't have that spark, which would help me keep going. So it really depends for everyone. If someone just really needs a bit of kick and find out more about you know, yourself, what is behind that, or if there is someone who really struggles to find that right direction and still keeps going and cannot find like why it's always failing, why there is something which comes and hinders you from moving forward. It may be, like I said, maybe someone who is burnout and is still in that vicious cycle, going through, like, you rest, but then you burn out again, you rest, but it's still not enough. And it
Right.
seems like it never ends.
Wow.
So also it's connected to that, that deeply rooted patterns and beliefs about ourselves, which could lead, to better life once you untap that.
Wow, wow. Absolutely amazing. And thank you so much for that contribution. So I'm just going to go to ask you this question. What is so unique about your services in the way that you work with your clients? What is it that you offer, and what is the uniqueness about your services? Because, we know there's so many mindset coaches, there's so many transformational coaches, so many coaches. The word coach has become so popular. But if someone's watching on here and they're experiencing a burnout, they have got loads of self-limiting beliefs. They're feeling like, you know what, I don't even know if I've tapped into my full potential. Why should they be looking at working maybe with yourself? Why should they be looking at your services?
Well, I believe that we get somehow attracted. So I really believe a lot in the energy. So when I talk to people, I know that I am talking to my ideal clients who understands, who resonates with me on that level. Like, we cannot really explain it. Like, sometimes you talk to someone and you have that click, like, oh yeah, I know what she means. I feel that. So that's like that first thing where I believe is important. When you have that inner feeling, that gut feeling that this person is the right one, because in the end, as you say, there are many coaches, there are many people who can help you. What is important is that your belief makes it happen. You believe that this person can help you, because in the end, it's up to you who makes the changes. I am the one who just gives you directions. I show you different options. I give you option to choose what is the best for you. I question that, why you want it. And I question you, in a way that, is it right for you, or, is it right for someone else? So in the end, it starts all with that inner feeling that this person knows how I feel. This person knows, that this is really what I want from life and resonates. Of course, I give them techniques and tools they can use afterwards. But I strongly believe that it's that energetic, match when
Yeah.
you feel like, when you click with someone and that.
Yes, and I believe in that too. And you would know automatically if someone's going to help you. You've got to believe in the person that is helping you, isn't it? Because if you don't trust them, it's about trust as well, I think.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
Okay. Wow. So, just going back a bit, if we backtrack, we are all just in this whole worldly pandemic, the COVID-19, and I'm sure it's in Germany, it's in Slovakia. A lot of people are experiencing anxieties, uncertainty about their future in respect to their
Mhm.
businesses, being alive, or even, things that they may desire to do. So, how would you help somebody, and what would you say to those people at this time? What is your advice to them in regards to their mindset?
Yeah, right. That's a very good question. And yes, thinking about that anxiety, when we think about that and we do anxiety, it's usually it's about future, like what could happen. So in that moment, we actually don't know whether it happens or it doesn't happen.
Mhm.
But we get into that state of our mind when, everything seems to be like overwhelming. Everything seems to be like the worst, worst case scenario. So important thing is just to step aside and look at that maybe from the observer point to see, because when you are in that moment and you start thinking so much about the future, you need to start being present in the moment, because we don't know the future, we can't predict, you know. And so it's really important to remain in that present moment, to take a deep breath, you know, maybe just to step outside, like going for a walk straight away, just to calm down, get into that state when you can decrease your heart rate, because also your heart is beating too fast. So it's good to get a bit of different point, like knowing right now I am safe. I take the deep breath. Right now I'm here, you know, I have my house, I have my family. So thinking about that most important thing in your life which you have, and show that gratitude as well. Gratitude is one of the most important tools we could use for ourselves to overcome all these, you know, negative emotions. So thinking about that, like right now I'm safe, and of course it might happen something bad in our future, but we don't know, it might not. So, you know, first taking the step back and just get into that point, like, oh, right now I'm still okay. The other thing which they could do is as well to look at that event in the future. They are worried so much, to be in that moment, to see it, and then actually again think about another event which is maybe 15 minutes afterwards, and think about that. Because after that, you know, 15 minutes, usually everything is okay again. So you see yourself again from other perspective. You see yourself like, all right, I overcame it again, you know, like many times in the past. We tend to forget like what happened to us, and they might have been even worse scenarios in the past. But we tend to forget in that moment when our brain wants to protect us, like our subconscious. That's the role of subconscious mind.
Wow, wow, absolutely amazing. And welcome, Jacqueline, for joining. Thank you so much. And Jacqueline saying, good afternoon, ladies. We have got Jasmine Mabaya. She's saying, that's right. When we shine our lights, we unconsciously allow others to do the same. So, I mean, do you have, would you agree with what Jasmine has just said to us on there?
Definitely. Yes, that's a very nice point.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, that energy is transient, isn't it? Christina Konya is saying, focus on what you have and not what you lack for now. So, you know, that's what you're talking about. You're saying, you know, some of the things that you can do, ladies, to overcome some of those anxieties that you may be going through now, especially, you know, with the COVID-19, uncertainties with business, families, and all that. You know, what Lucia is saying to us is, you know, focus on the now, have gratitude, you know, try to live in the moment. That's one of the things that you have said here. So thank you so much for sharing that, and welcome to the Momentous Talk Show. So then, you know, what is your, you know, so if we've got ladies here who might be watching and they may be wanting to work and connect with you, how would you support them, and how can they connect with you?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I would love to connect with as many women as I can. That's my mission in the end, to help as many as possible. And they can connect me via social media. Definitely, you find me on LinkedIn, you find me on Facebook, on Instagram, as well as on my own website, which is luciapavlikova.com. And yeah, you can always, you know, reach out, ask questions, and I would love to just to have a chat and see how I can help, how I can support.
Wow. Wow. And I like that, you know, so, you know, if you would like to connect with Lucia, and certainly, you know, I see women are going to be moving to, we've been introduced to a new way of doing things. Certainly being able to embrace, you know, technology it's one thing that we are dealing with right now. I think I'm kind of overcoming it, you know, getting used to talking to women from across the world, in Germany, in Switzerland, in America, through social media. You know, that alone is something that's been able to be achieved in this now, in what's been happening. So, you know, for me, that's a plus, and it's being able to get used and to keep repeating it, because as you repeat it, you become a pro at it and you become better. So I'm embracing the challenges and I'm embracing the now. So that's one way to overcome it.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. So, you know, give us an example. You know, obviously you've worked with a wide spectrum of women from different backgrounds. Give us an example of somebody that you've worked with, and you know, just go through that picture, and you know, tell us how you help that person to overcome certain limitations in their life.
All right. So I can use an example of one wonderful woman, and we worked together, basically overcoming a lot of negative things. It was mainly the tendency of jumping into negative mindsets. So thinking, from that perspective that everything went wrong, and she was in transition also in her career, like stepping up into the new position. So for her, it was very important to find that balance, and to find that confidence to also talk in different way than she used before. So shifting that mindset from negative to positive is also part of finding that confidence within. So focusing on what really matters, and as I already said, showing that gratitude for what we have, and also thinking in a way that we are all different, everyone sees things differently. So also embrace that fact that there are always people who will disagree with us. There are always people who will have different point of view. So learning that throughout that process, that it's okay to have these different opinions, and knowing how to elegantly move through that process. So basically I took her through that journey to find out more about herself, about her strength, like where it lays, where she can find the strength in the moments where she was feeling like she cannot, and as well to get that confidence that she's going to be okay in her new role, which was very important to her as well.
Absolutely amazing. And I like that, because you touched on something that I see happening all the time working with women, and, you know, embracing our uniqueness. And I like us to just really embrace that topic right now, and just really talk about some of the ways that we as women, because it's about that mindset, seeing that, you know, your uniqueness is a benefit to me. You know, your uniqueness adds value to me, because, you know, we can't all be the same. So let's talk about that, embracing uniqueness. Do you find that this is an area that we as women struggle with?
Yes, honestly, I can say we struggle. And me personally, I was struggling a lot, actually, to be honest. So therefore, I know how it feels always when I connect with women, and they tend to say, but I don't feel comfortable, showing myself, and even simply sitting in the first row on the meeting, for example, gives them that anxiety, like, oh no, I don't want to be, that person who wants to show that it interests her, or something in that sense, for example, from the working environment, or even in the personal environment, when we are with our loved ones, with our friends, showing that, okay, we don't have the same opinions than others. Somehow, it's a sign that we shouldn't do that because something is wrong, and we tend to be quiet in many cases, we tend to hide that. But actually showing that uniqueness and accepting that, it's the step toward self-love. And as well, showing others that we love ourselves enough to show that, and that impacts the others as well, through that act of acceptance of ourselves.
Wow, wow, wow. I like that. And, you know, you've talked about self-love, acceptance of self. That's quite something there. I wanted to explore a bit more into that, but I'm just going to read what Jacqueline Francis is saying. She's saying it's so important to identify your strengths. Some may be surprised when they realize that it is a strength. as they've never thought about it until someone mentions it. Wow. So identifying your strengths, and that's about, you talk about acceptance again, isn't it? Thank you, Jackie. Wow.
Yeah, wonderful.
Just going back to acceptance, do you feel that then the reason that we're not embracing each other's uniqueness is because we haven't quite accepted ourselves, or is it about ourselves, or is it about the other person?
Well, actually, we think that it's about the other person. And there is very nice sentence, which I hope that I will remember it correctly. And I'm sorry, I cannot say who is the author of that, but it basically says that I am not who I think I am. I am who I think you think I am, which basically, which basically summarizes. I think, well, I am who you think I am.
Wow. Wow. So
Which
I
says,
think I am. Okay. Okay. It's a rigmarole, but I get it.
basically it says that our uniqueness or our personality is reflected through the other person. So what the other person thinks about us, we just reflect on ourselves.
Wow.
So it's like the mirror, and we live with that. We believe that what others think, it's us, but actually embracing that it starts within us and accepting who we are, that uniqueness. And it was very nice said with the strengths. That's also something connected to that, because when we talk about the strengths, we tend to not really recognize them. We tend to look at more at the weaknesses, like, oh yeah, I'm not good in these things,
Yeah.
I still need to improve that. But we many times forget that actually these strengths are the driving force. And we don't give credit to ourselves. We rather say about that weakness. We would know them very well. We know our weaknesses. But the question is, do we know our strengths, and that's the power within us.
Wow, I like that. I like that. I like that. So, we need to be looking at what are our strengths as opposed to be what are our weaknesses first, and then identifying other people's strengths as well. Is that right?
Well, not necessarily other people's strengths. Of course, it's important. But the process of knowing ourselves, it's important to know first our strengths, to understand where it comes from. And usually we can identify them going back in the past and think about when we were children and what basically brought us that happiness, maybe when we were playing with some toys and dolls and whatever we were doing, and it gave us passion. We forgot about the time. We were maybe good at creating something. Maybe we were good at building something. So basically behind that, there is hidden our strength behind that. So when we think about that, you might find out about your strength and what is actually unique about you. And then you can move forward and see that, this is my strength. And then you can recognize it in others too. Sure, of course.
Wow. I like that. I like that. Certainly. Jacqueline, thank you so much for contributing again. And she's really, really active participant today. I like that. You've got to accept yourself first before expecting others to accept you.
Yeah.
And self-love and self-relationship. And I know you deal a lot with relationships as well. So thank you so much, Jackie, for actually contributing. Do you have any contributions to what she's saying? Lucy, do you want to add on to what she's talking about?
Yeah, I can only agree.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I cannot just highlight it enough. Really,
Yeah.
it's important.
And I think that is so powerful. And it's something that I've done myself, actually, even in my own journey, where, you actually have to accept yourself first before you expect somebody else to accept you. So it's something that is, really, really real, actually. So thank you. We've got Victorious, and she's talking about in the journey towards self-love, you have to be able to accept both the losses and the positive aspects of you as an individual. Our strengths are usually results of our lowest points. Wow. Thank you,
Yeah,
Victoria.
wonderful.
It's absolutely amazing. And some people say when life gives you lemons, make some lemonade. But again, it goes to your mindset, isn't it? What do you think about that particular low point? Your mindset, your mindset, your mindset.
Yeah.
Uh, Okay, so thank you so much for contributions, and just going back to yourself, Lucia, then, what would you say, who is your ideal client? And we talked about women, but, can you give us your ideal client? Who would you like to work with, and how would you work with them?
Yes, definitely. It's a good question. Thank you. So I think that women who are on that crossroads when which I mentioned already before, that they feel like there is something more in life for them. They are ready to take responsibility for the action. They are ready to take what is necessary to find that clarity, to find that freedom in their life. They really don't want to feel burnout anymore. They don't want to feel overwhelmed, and they just need a bit of the guidance, the push in the right direction to see the options which they have, and see it from different perspective. So really, women maybe who are just now also changing the career, they want to step up, they want to get that confidence, to stand up, to show as well to the world what they are capable of. So definitely I would love to work with women who really believe there is more to life.
Wow, and I like that. And I know that a lot of women are going to be definitely at crossroads because we've had the pandemic, and yes, it's been terrible. But also in anything bad, something good always comes out of it. So a lot of women are going to be going through transitions as they realize that maybe their job was not good enough, or they've been made redundant, and they're thinking about, they are at a crossroads, and they're thinking about, what is my next, what am I going to be doing next? So I can definitely say you will definitely be getting people coming your way to to look at how you can help them to go forward as far as their mindset is concerned. So so just going back again to basically then, Lucia, where you're based now with the COVID-19, have you embraced this new way of working? Are you doing face to face? I know some places have unlocked. What kind of work would you be doing with them? Would you work with online? I mean, how are you going to be approaching that?
Yeah, sure. So definitely with the new situation we are facing now, I switched like you, and you just said that embracing new reality. So for me, it's the same. So I connect with women online. So we do mainly the Zoom calls, and we work from session to session. And actually now I am launching even my new program, which is group program for women, which my vision is to create a safe community where we go through the process, how to really get from that unstuckness, from the burnout, from overwhelm, to that life when they have their freedom, they have that clarity and confidence. So we do that as well online, and basically that's how I'm operating right now, how I'm connecting with everyone. And actually I love that because it's nice to see the person. Still, it's not completely face to face, but we feel connected, so it's amazing.
I love that. I love that. And when you talk about group programs, what do you mean? Somebody may be thinking, do we work together? Do we move together? How do you do a group program, and how can people kind of subscribe? I like that, launching a new group program. Can you tell us a bit more about this program and how people can tap into it?
Sure, definitely. So, as I said, it's a program which called Roadmap to Confidence, Clarity, and Freedom. And it's a 12-week program. So I'm really taking women on that transformational journey, which means they go from all the problems they are feeling. They want to up level their life. They want to change the mindset. And each week, I am going to lead them through the coaching calls. So there will be every week one coaching call. They will get also the materials where they can, learn by themselves, prepare themselves, and then we go into depth during the calls. And as well, there are some bonus materials, like also the audio recording of hypnosis, because I think I haven't mentioned, but I'm also a hypnotherapist. So I'm also giving the recording, meditation recording, and then I do 2 additional bonus calls, 101, when actually I untap all the limiting beliefs they have, and as well the emotions. So leaving that baggage of the past and stepping into the future with feeling much lighter, which means that they are getting on that process of changing their life, transforming their life.
Wow, absolutely amazing. I love that. And, if you're listening and you're that woman who Lucy's talking about, I want you to connect. And the roadmap to confidence is a 12-week program. And, this could be the beginning of your journey, guys. This could be the beginning. And it only starts when you make that decision to make a difference. We can't continue to wail and complain about how things are not changing for us when we are not doing anything to move forward. We need to snap out of this. We need to unlock. And I love the word unlock, because, it's almost like it's a locked door. So, you need to unlock that door, because greatness lies within you. Great things lie inside of you. There are books to be written out of you, talk shows to be written, businesses to be brought forth, so much potential. And I love it, because I am flowing in that moment where I'm unlocking bit by bit every day. And I love to discover what is out there for me. And, it's amazing speaking to you, Lucia. Do you have any last words for our audience or our listeners today?
Yeah, I would love to thank you and of course the audience for listening, tuning in and listening what I have to share. And I hope it resonates with you, all of you. And definitely I hope that someday our path will cross. And if not, then I will be happy, just to share that moment with you right now.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. And before you go off, I'm going to ask you to do a hypnotic something like me. It's Friday, so, I'm just going to go out in style. Or can we play some lovely music?
Play the lovely music for you so you can, unwind.
You're my last thing for the day, so I don't mind being hypnotized right now. So, ladies, join me as we all finish the moment. Thank you.
So you can just relax right now. Just sit quietly. Close your eyes. And just feel your muscles. Just relax. Noticing like every muscle in your hands, in your arms, in your legs is relaxing. And as you relax, you just notice that you are relaxing even deeper and deeper. And you go deeper and you see and you feel that you are just relaxing. Notice your breath. Breath in, breath out. And let that energy flow through your body, relaxing your body and think about the garden. Think about the beautiful garden you are sitting in, and you are so relaxed, so relaxed. And just notice you noticing all the smells around, all the beautiful colors, and you are calm, so calm. And you just feel like you want to stretch maybe one arm, maybe the second arm, and you are so relaxed. Just notice the grass touching your feet, touching your
Okay. I'm gonna have to stop you. Thank you. That is so beautiful because I was starting to feel like I'm gonna go to sleep, and we're still on live. So, guys, that was a taste of what Lucia is able to offer us, and I totally enjoyed that. Even though she's in Germany and I'm in the UK, isn't that amazing how social media, how technology can allow us to experience and tap into each other's, what you're doing, and potential. So I'm really honored to have you on the show today. And I'm just going to be finishing the show and thanking you once more for coming on. And I propose that you come on here to just do one of those sessions. I could feel that coming through my body and I had to stop it. But, thank you so much. And we can carry on in the backstage.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
day.
everyone, for watching. And bye bye for now. Bye bye.
Bye.